Hey guys. So, I'm really excited, I'm not gonna lie. I've been working really hard to get all of this set up and everything for you guys. So, I put together some notes that I'm gonna be going through. So this is gonna be our first ever Small Developer Sunday. So from now on, every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be reviewing a different small developer, kind of playing some of their games, stuff like that, talking about, you know, them and how they got to where they are now and everything. Just some quick things before we go through that. Obviously, especially since we're going to be playing through a few different games, they're all going to be oriented differently. So if the game is too loud or I'm too loud, anything like that, or if anything just looks a little wonky, please just let me know. I do keep my stream up so that I can kind of keep an eye on it, as well as my software and everything, but between all of that and playing the game, I can't guarantee that I'll catch it, especially when it comes to sound feedback and everything like that. I can't really hear what you guys are hearing when it comes to me talking and stuff like that. So as per usual, please just let me know. I'm also really excited. I got my business cards on Friday. They weren't supposed to come in until tomorrow, but I got my business cards with just like all of my information on them and everything. I'm going to a convention next week, so I'm probably going to hand some of these out to people and things like that, as well as check out the last convention that I went to had an indie games section where you kind of see the games that were being developed and talk to the developers and everything like that. So I'm going to see if I can't, you know, speak to some of those people and maybe be able to feature some of those games as well for you guys. So, on to what you guys are here for. So this week we're going to be featuring Davey Wreden and William Pugh. They are both most known for the Stanley Parable, which is why I have that featured. That'll be one of our main games today. The other two games that I'll be featuring more so lean towards William Pugh, who was the level designer for the Stanley Parable, but he has a few games that I thought would be kind of cool for you guys to check out and things like that. One of the games that I won't be streaming today is the Beginner's Guide, which is by far like one of my favorite indie games. I really loved it, but the entire game has commentary already put over it, and so I feel that that's kind of a game that people should sit down and play by themselves and be able to really experience that dialogue and everything. I don't think that I personally could offer a lot streaming it in comparison to you just being able to play it yourself. So Davey Wreden and William Pugh are both independent developers. William Pugh he started his own developing like project, from what I've been able to conclude, called Crows. They have all of their stuff online. Both of his games that I'll be streaming today are free. The only one that I'm streaming today that isn't free is the Stanley Parable, which you can buy it off of Steam for, I think it's like $15 or something. So Davey Wreden is based out of Sacramento, California. He's been a part of about 8 games. I could only find one that for sure was like, well, it was 2 because the Beginner's Guide, but one that I could feature, which was the Stanley Parable. I could only really confirm that he had developed that one, whereas some of the other ones were like, he wrote a little bit of it, and also he narrated. And I didn't really want to give him the credit of it being, you know, his small development when all he did was narrate. I'd rather be able to save that game and give him credit for narrating in a further stream another time when I feature those developers. So he uses a lot of Source SDK, which is a it's kind of like a game developing software. You can use it through Steam. It's free. It typically connects with like Half-Life, Portal 2, games like that. You'll be able to tell, especially when we play Stanley Parable, that it's a Source game, because Source is really good at making like lines and boxes and stuff like that. It's very linear and angular, and so with that you can kind of tell. The Stanley Parable is a lot of hallways and rooms, so we'll kind of go through that. He does have his own website, everythingunlimitedlimited.com. I have all of that information in the description down below, as well as William Pugh's website for Crows, which I believe is crowscrowscrows.itch.io. That should also be down in the description, as well as the links to all of these games. 2 of them you can find in the Steam store. 1 of them you can just play online in a browser. So yeah. William Pugh was, like I said, the level designer for the Stanley Parable. He also developed let me make sure that I say this right, because I'm going to be really embarrassed if I don't. He also developed Dr. Langeskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a Whirlwind Heist. He also created that game as well, so that'll be another one that we play through today. He also co-created the Beginner's Guide, which, like I said, we won't be playing today, but I 100% recommend. I may even see about throwing the link down below for you guys. I don't think that the Beginner's Guide is free either. I think it's like $5, but I didn't honestly really put a lot of notes since I wasn't planning on playing that one for you guys. So it kind of all started with the Stanley Parable. So the Stanley Parable, it originally started off as a Portal, or not a Portal 2, it originally started off as a Half-Life 2 source mod. And then Davey, he saw this mod and he was like, well, I'd really like to recreate this and, just kind of improve upon it. So his, excuse me, his improvements were originally going to start off as a Portal 2 source mod. And the plan was to make a better mod by December of 2012. So the map design was kind of seen to be like the worst part of it to Davey. So he kind of put out some feelers, he was kind of looking around for somebody to kind of help with the map design for this remake, which is when William reached out to him at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just kind of voicing his interest in everything. He had played the Stanley Parable mod in 2011, and, like I said, he saw that he was hiring for this remake, so he emails him at 5 a.m., and Davey's like, okay, well, I'll see about contacting you soon. Within an hour after that, William had sent over a rough office design for Davey, and Davey was like, all right, you're hired. So, they kind of start to get to know each other a little bit better, get all the formalities out of the way and everything, and they kind of changed the scope for the remake, and it kind of escalated. It went from just, being this mod to becoming a full-out game, which it becomes the Stanley Parable HD remix. So Davey, he was able to create that because not only did he have more experience in writing and just creating ideas for games in general, but they were also kind of able to pull some other people to help with the project in kind of like smaller aspects. So, while Will was handling the majority of the map design, Davey was able to focus on cool story ideas and, just different like level ideas, stuff like that. And so I do just kind of want to put out some honorable mentions to Colin Eddings, Jesus Higueras, Jack Parsons, and Andreas Jorgensen. They were also some people who were able to help make all of this happen and everything. So around January 2013, they created an alpha build for Valve to kind of introduce, this game and everything for them. And they started speaking with Valve about the game, and Steam Greenlight had recently come out around this time. And they decided that that would probably be the best fit for their company, or for their project, more. So the project, Steam Greenlight, just to kind of give you guys, some background, was released August 30th of 2012. It was kind of a way to gauge what games the community would like to see more of, as well as just give an easy way for the community to give feedback to developers and also let them know kind of, what kind of games they were wanting and things like that. So the only thing, it seemed like a really great idea on paper, but they started having issues with discoverability as well as just fraudulent and like gag games coming on So they started instituting a $100 entry fee for anybody who was wanting to submit a game to Steam. And all of those proceeds do go to a charity. They go to Child's Play, which I did a little bit of research on, but there's a whole section on Steam, as well as just like Googling it. You can find out more about Child's Play, as well as, you know, the Steam Greenlight program and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it started. It was just, they gave themselves a really short deadline. It was like a week, and they learned that they do not do well with deadlines whatsoever. And so because of that, you know, I believe I read something online where it was like for a week it was them just like drinking and staying up until 4 a.m. every night trying to just like get this game out the door for Steam. They were actually released in the second batch of games that Steam Greenlight released. So there was 10 games that were released. They were in the second set of 10. This game has been really popular. It has like 30,000 reviews on Steam or something crazy like that. While it is a little bit of a bigger game, I do consider it still an indie game, just because it's not made by a AAA company or, you know, anything like that. Like, it's not like an EA game or something like that, thank God. But yeah, I mean, that's really how they started off and everything. A little bit more on the Stanley Parable. Steam classifies it as an adventure game. It's not really an adventure game. You can't even jump or anything. You can just walk. So I did consider this game a walking simulator. It's just walking and a guy making cheeky comments at you for the most part. There are like a couple of other little things that we'll go through. Like I said, it was originally released in July 2011 as a Half-Life 2 mod. And then it was officially published as its own game, the Stanley Parable HD Remix, the Stanley Parable. It was originally published in October of 2013. And it's still been pretty popular today. I still meet a decent amount of people who I talk to them about this game or Dr. Langaskov, which has been sitting in my library and I haven't played it yet, so I'm pretty excited about today. But, you know, I talk to them about these games, and a lot of people know the company, or not the company, but they know the game. And so I thought that it'd be cool to kind of shed some light more on the people who helped make it happen. So it was the first big game by them. It has a 9 out of 10 on Steam. Like I said, I think it has like 30,000 reviews, all marked as very positive. It's about $15, and it was developed using the Source engine. So yeah, without further ado, let me see about pulling the game up. I planned on, originally, I was gonna kind of walk through some of the like storylines that you can collect. The game essentially, so the game can be finished in under 5 minutes, but there's also a storyline that can take you over 4 hours. So I was kind of planning on just, most of them are relatively short, so I was kind of planning on just running through a few of those for you guys, and then if you guys have any specific storylines you want to see or anything, I have no problem running through those at all. Typically I do try to kind of ask for you guys to not backseat game because it sucks, you know, like I try to make sure I can go through as much as possible, but with this one, it's a short game. We have plenty of time to go through them, so I have zero issues. Like, if there's a certain storyline that you want me to stream for you guys or anything like that, please just let me know. I've been playing this game for a few years, and I actually found a flowchart online with all of the endings that you can get and everything, and I didn't realize, but I haven't even seen all of the endings, so there will still be some that I run through that I haven't seen just yet. So let me see about getting it pulled up here. I made sure I already have all of the software set up for the Stanley Parable as well as Dr. Langaskov. I don't have it set up for the web browser just yet, but that should be something that takes me a couple of minutes. So let me just see about, there we go. Another thing, obviously my screen is optimized for BioShock, which is, you know, what we play most of the time, so there may be like a little bit of tweaking that I need to do in regard to, you know, in regard to the game and stuff like that. Let me make sure that, okay, perfect. Yeah, so everything should sound good. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I'll be kind of like in and out with commentary on this game. Like I said, there's a narrator who comments, not as much as the beginner's guide, but I mean, the best part is kind of the narrator. So let me make sure that I have, let's see. Let me make sure I have closed captioning on for you guys. All right. I love this game, guys. I'm really excited to be able to do this with you guys. I can't tell if it's loading or not. I hope it is. Oh, yep, there it goes. Okay, thank God. I haven't booted this game up in a couple of months, so I booted it up for the Steam sale and kind of played around on it for a little while because I had repurchased it. And so kind of just ran through it. It's always kind of fun to come back to. Can you not hear it? Can you hear it, Savvy? What about now? Can you hear it now? Well, this is an issue I wasn't expecting to run into. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can't fix that. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I think that it may just be, I think that it'll be a pretty easy thing to fix. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that it's not giving any feedback. I wonder why. Okay. You can hear it now? Okay. Okay. Let me restart the game then. Because I like, whew. So I have it turned up a decent amount now, so, hey Brocus. I have it turned up a decent amount now, so if it's too loud, please let me know for sure this time. Okay, so please start with the beginning. Okay, there we go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427.
Okay, hang on. Okay. One last time. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. I won't touch it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, so that's the intro. So I was kind of thinking for the first one, I'd probably just run through the regular vanilla storyline, the way that you're supposed to, and then, oh, have fun. And I'll see about kind of running through the other ones for you guys after. Just to kind of reiterate on it, you can
All
definitely
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just to reiterate, you can kind of tell by looking at the game, it's definitely a Source game. It has those angular, those angular lines like we spoke about, a lot of right angles and things like that. I've kind of played around in Source a little bit. It's definitely really good at making rooms. It's once you start to get into the organic stuff that it gets a little harder. So let's go to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So I don't do self-promotion in my chat. I was gonna say I don't do self-promotion in my chat if it's anything like that, but if it's links that are applicable to the game or anything like that, I am okay with that. So I really enjoy, those are really cute. I wasn't expecting that. So I do really enjoy there's a lot of really little detail in the game. Just like, kind of making sure that all of this is done. And I think that this really attests to William Pugh's kind of sense of humor and just the kind of design that he has. I will also say, one of my favorite things that I learned when reading about kind of the relationship that William and Davey had especially when making this game and they were still getting to know each other, is that there was a blog that was kind of promoting the game before all of this came up. And, excuse me, there was a blog promoting the game, and they would post just like these really funny, like kind of hard to tell if it was like satire or serious, commentary about the game and just the way that the process was going and everything.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
I'm planning on doing the face punch one. I'm gonna run through the original storyline really fast, but that's one that I haven't done, so I'm really excited to do that. But reading through the blog posts to kind of familiarize myself with everything, there was one blog post that was made by William essentially saying like, hey, I put a bunch of secrets in the game. And then Davey was like, I edited this blog post and I made sure that William didn't put any secrets in this game. And then Davey was like, well, the joke's on him because I told him my secrets, but the secret is I didn't tell him my secrets. And so actually the face punch one is one of the secrets. There's a couple of other ones. They also tried to see how many forklifts they could add into the game, just kind of things like that. And I thought it was just really cool how much fun they were able to kind of have with the game and everything like that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, so let's walk upstairs to the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
All right. God, that link thing honestly just cracks me up. Every time I see it, it's like, God damn it. That was a really good one.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So the escape option will probably be one that we come back to later, but for now we're going to go through the mind control facility. Let me just get the lights here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
You know, it really is savvy. It's actually, that's one of my favorite things about William and Davey's game, and I feel like that's why I know that I'll definitely like Dr. Lingaskog, just from the couple of games that I've played by William and Davey. They're just really good games. I definitely think it's a refreshing, original idea, which this is kind of the thing that I was going for when I kind of thought up Small Developers Sundays is, you know, there's these small developers out there that make these really cool, really creative, original games that you don't really get from anybody else. And so I just like, you know, to be able to share those with you guys so that, you know, more people can have the chance to play them. There we go.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So if you look at me on the screen, oh, right here, this is ours. In the upper, sorry, that's us, right there. That's our computer, or our camera. Let me see. I feel like there's a way. Maybe. Here we go. Right. Can we go through here? Oh. There's a way to walk down.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright, so somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure there's like a dismantle controls button. Yep.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, what's the answer? Oh, okay. We'll see. Maybe.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, there you have it. That is the original full-blown story, just beginning to end if you follow the narrator. We're gonna run through some of the other ones. Obviously they're not all that wholesome. So I wanted to be able to kind of show you guys some of the other cool things that you can do in this game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sorry, honestly, my mouse is a little less sensitive than I used.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So we're gonna go to the right this time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah, I can. I can see...
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, but I think there are like a couple of doors that I can go through. I know I can go in the...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
I know for sure we can go through the broom closet, so that'll be one of the ones that I run through today.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Jesus Christ. Yes, there are some doors that we can go through.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
I know, he's super sassy. Okay, so I guess I'll give you guys the option. We can go to the room on the left, or we can continue going straight. So it's kind of up to you guys. The left will take us back to the meeting room, and then we don't know where the right will take us, so... Okay, well, I'm gonna go through the right then. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
They will penalize you $5,000 if you jump off and die.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
So this is
it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
This is my favorite storyline that they offer.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
No, this is Stanley.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic discoveries
probably like a ham
in new
sandwich.
lands.
That seems pretty normal,
It was
right?
wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Maybe like some leftover meatloaf? I don't know. What do normal people eat? Ham sandwich seems like the most, like, I feel like that's the most Stanley-esque thing that you could eat for lunch.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
But you know, in all honesty, I feel like Miracle Whip is kind of like shaking it up. I feel like mayo is supposed to be like the most normal thing that you could eat, so I almost feel like it'd probably be like a ham and American cheese sandwich on white bread with mayo, maybe like some lettuce tomato cut diagonally, and that's it.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
You think Stanley's the
The
narrator?
longer he spends here,
I don't
the
really
more
know.
invested he gets. The more he
It kind of-
forgets which life is the real one.
It kind of changes based on every like level that you go through. Like sometimes I feel like Stanley is more like in this one, Stanley kind of like reflects upon himself, and I could see him definitely realizing that he's the narrator. But then in some of the other ones, it's like very apparent that the narrator is like a separate entity, kind of just narrating through for him. Oh.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I don't know if I sit here and don't push this button, if it'll do anything. I think that it'll just essentially wait for me to push a button forever, so.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Yep, so that's my favorite ending, personally. I just really enjoyed the way that plays through. So let me think. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. So I think...
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
So I think if I knock on this door, it does something.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for
There's
the
an
achievement?
for
Click a
this.
door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay, so... I have this achievement. This is like one of the best achievements. There's some really cool achievements. There's like leave the game open all Tuesday. There's the speedrun achievement. There's a couple of other just like really weird achievements that I really like. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay,
I have to
nope,
say, I'm still not feeling the
don't know
satisfaction
if it was
of
counting
witnessing
them
true
without the
effort
noise.
for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Okay.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
All right, so let's go find door number 417. See if these are...
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
I think that one's closest.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Let's see. I think it's this one. Here we go.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay, so now let's run back this way.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
His enthusiasm is infectious.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
So there's one storyline that I've always wanted to run through, but I've never been able to quite figure it out. So, it won't let me do it because we'll come back over here and I'll show you. But it won't let me right now since we did the 5 clicks. Which achievement are you trying to get? Oh, are you really? Are you really going through? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That achievement, it like blows my mind to think that like 5 years from now, that the game will be like, hey, good job. That's really impressive. So what do you do like when you get an itch to play it? Do you just come watch other streamers play it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That's so funny. Alright, do you guys want me to go left or right? Well, actually, go right? Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, so...
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
So we're gonna go through this door on the left.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I don't remember this one. So we're gonna go this way.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh. I do remember this one. Oh, wait. Nope.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay. So there's... Let me talk.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So there's an Easter egg in this game that I've never been able to figure out, where you have to... There's a pop-up on some of the computers that you have to click, and it makes a thing come up. And I want to see if maybe... If Zuni Pop, you may know how to do it. or what I'm talking about. Or maybe I'm just crazy. That computer has solitaire pulled up on it. Is it the bone closet? No. Okay. Oh.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I'm scared that if I walk in there, it's going to close all the other doors and I won't get to wander through all of them. We're going to try to get back on track. Let's see if we can... Oh, nope. Oh, okay, cool. So...
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ah. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see about... Oh, no.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Some spilled coffee.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
I'm so confused.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, once more, with feeling. Oh, it's getting worse.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
So I'll probably see about running through maybe like 2 or 3 more of these, and then we'll see about moving on to Dr. Langascott.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
We're not going to follow the line, I don't think. I think I'm going to move us somewhere else. Oh, we're taking a special route this time, I see.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I really hope that's not I have no idea who it is.
Cut the music.
Oh, thank
Go
God.
back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I don't actually think that it is, but just in case, let's make sure that it's well studied. Yep, looks like a fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh my God.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
That was a good one. Oh, the adventure line is still here.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, did they just open up a door? Oh.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I don't actually remember. Oh, it's just a circle. Oh, thank God. I thought we were gonna get stuck in the circle.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so here we are.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? Confusion ending.
Hey!
You're telling me
No,
that's what
there's
this
never
is?
a wrong point.
It's
in
all
this
one
game.
giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times?
Okay, so
That's
we're
really
what,
how
on
all
the
this
fourth
goes?
restart?
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Oh, sorry. Something important is happening, but let me turn it down just a little bit. That should be a little bit better.
The timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Ooh, I did not like that noise. So somebody in the comments earlier asked that I type face punch. I also have seen that option, but I've never done it, and so I was just going to...
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy
still in the confusion
forever.
ending.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh, ew, I hope it doesn't stick around. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So,
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
So I think we're still running through the confusion ending. I can't see for sure.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. We'll do it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So, we're gonna go downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts,
So
he
meta.
thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yeah, for real.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the Stanley Parable. There are tons more endings. That was just a few that I just ran through. Oh, I did the Adventure Line one. With the confusion ending. Ooh, sorry guys, needed a good stretch after that one. But yeah, there's tons of other endings. I actually pulled up a flowchart to try to pick some of the key ones for you guys before this. Maybe one Sunday. There are some other games by William Pugh that I'd like to run through. Maybe if we have some time at like the end of one of those streams in the future, we could see about perhaps running through like a couple of other endings for the Stanley Parable. There's one that takes like 4 hours. I won't do it, but I'll show you the video of the ending, stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm going to be moving on and playing, let me get the name up, Dr. Langeskov the Tiger and the Terribly Cursed Emerald. This game has been something that's been sitting in my library for a while. Some of my friends, a couple of my friends, highly recommend this game who have actually played through it. I'm excited personally to be able to play it as a blind playthrough. I remember how exciting it was playing the Stanley Parable for the first time and just how entertaining it is even now to go through and be able to find those small Easter eggs years later. So I've really come to enjoy it. But yeah, so just to go through some of the stuff for Langeskov, this game is also, from what I know of, essentially a walking simulator. It's very similar to the Stanley Parable in the aspect that we'll kind of just be walking for the most part. It was published in December of 2015 by William Pugh's project, Crows. The link for the game, which is free, is down in the description, as well as the Crows website. It does have a 9 out of 10 on Steam, which is really cool for it being a free game and everything. I can't remember off the top of my head how many votes that was, but I know that the website itself that it had been voted on, I think maybe had like a couple thousand, I want to say. This game wasn't developed with the Source SDK like the Stanley Parable was. This one was actually developed with the Unity engine. So let me see about just getting that pulled up for us. And I set up the software beforehand, so everything should work out. I really hope so, because okay, thank God. I was having some major issues with it right before the stream. This game, so the Stanley Parable, I had a feeling that my layout would be fine, like the overlay that you guys see, but I don't know about Dr. Langeskov. I've never played the game or anything. My overlay, I try to keep it pretty non-intrusive and low-key for you guys, but if it is in the way or anything, I'll take a minute to readjust it. Additionally, yeah, just back to the noise thing. I have no idea how loud it is. I'm actually going to turn it down just a little bit right now. Just because... Oh, it's not turning down. What the heck? Turn down. Down. Turn. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not too loud. If it is, I can... I'm sorry, my microphone is in the way. Whoop. God damn it. Okay. Let me fix it. I actually just have everything pulled up on my right-hand screen running, and then I'm actually watching everything on this side. I'm just watching through my software. So let me see about pulling this up one more time. Hopefully everything is oriented correctly because it was a bitch and a half to get fixed. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, really excited to play this for you guys. The Amadori Mansion won the 1912 award for the most entrances and exits. Guards will always return to their patrol paths. Okay, so this is... Okay. So I guess this is actually a heist. Alright. I don't know what I expected, but... Whether or not a vehicle is on fire has no bearing on its shot distance. What the fuck am I getting myself into? Now I'm low-key terrified.
Okay, 2 minutes. This is your 2 minutes. And the intro crew is ready. Can we check if the orchestra is ready, please?
For the record, it's a little quiet for me, too.
We have a 40 lantern in the ballroom. Can we get somebody on that as soon as possible? Okay, just waiting for a go from Pyro. Do you have anybody in the weapons department? No. They've gone too. Alright, okay, no problem. 1 minute. Break a leg, everybody. Positions, please. Performance 237. Beginning in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Move around? Oh! Thank you, Max. Okay. I'm moving my mouse, Max. Is that better? Is that what you wanted? Okay, so I read kind of like a brief description of the game. It said they were backstage at performance, so... Okay. Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, that's strange. Maybe it's gonna like fade out into something else. And then Max was like, move the mouse. My bad, guys.
1 second, please. Hold your first position. There's somebody at the door. Yeah, I know. Okay, 1 second. Can we get a precise location on the player, please? There's 2 of them. Right. Okay. Hi. So this is a bit awkward. I think it's probably best if we're just really honest with each other.
Very proud.
It's a bit awkward. The thing is, the game you've just downloaded, somebody is playing it right now, so you can't play it. I'm really sorry. Yeah, this is.
He's a doctor now? Man.
Yeah, this is quite inconvenient. I don't know why this keeps happening. Sorry, we're generally quite organised. You should come inside. I'll explain. Just through here.
Wow, guys, I'm already really.
I mean,
excited.
it's quite safe.
Here's
the thing: the game's live, which makes it impossible to insert you, and also it's just quite difficult now for you to leave. But I think it's okay. I know what to do. I'm gonna try and call publicity and liaisons, and we should be able to take you to the green room. All right? If you just wait here, and yeah, we'll be able to get you in. All right. Let me just find the number here. Okay. It's ringing.
Oh my god, guys, I'm really excited. This game,
somebody will pick
I've
up.
been wanting to play this for a while. I've actually been holding on to the game to play for
it's
you
ringing.
guys.
Don't worry.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
yikes.
They hung up. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I'm so sorry. Okay.
I did pick it up. I'm sorry. I was too excited to tell you
I know
guys
we've
how
both got better
excited I
things
was
to be doing
about
with our
being
lives.
excited.
Okay. Oh, I know what's going on.
I'm trying to pick
We've
it
got something of a strike sort of situation
Oh.
emerging. Yeah, we've become quite understaffed. Actually, you wouldn't mind doing me a favour, would you? Come through here. I could really use your help.
Okay.
But if you'd rather, the thing is, our entire
sorry.
weather department and half the wildlife crew is just up to the left before we could even begin this morning, and it's all super simple. It's mostly buttons. You like buttons, right? And you'll be able to play the game as soon as whoever's in there at the moment is finished. Promise. Your help? Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, this way.
Okay.
Yeah, the lighting department's right through here.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. First things first, could you bring up the lights? Thank you so much, because, we can't have people playing in the dark. Or they'll fall over.
So these are
They
lasers.
could die. See that lever? It
yes.
sets the sunset off. You've got the reflector. There it goes. Little lights blinking on in the windows of the mansion, up past the ornamental ponds. Oh, it's pretty magical, really. Okay, now we need to attack them with the tiger. It's a heist game. The player's playing a big heist. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the tiger's very important. It's in the title. Alright, into wildlife preparation. Just through the door.
What about the lasers?
You don't have to be alarmed. It's not a real jungle. It's just a game. It's just a room full of... Right, it's so safe. We'd usually have someone else do this, but they started striking right after one of them got... Well, I shouldn't have... Just pull the lever and let's say, introduce the tiger to the level.
Oh, it says to not be eaten by a tiger.
You should pull the tiger lever. Really.
Okay.
Look, trust me on this one. Tigers, it turns out, just aren't. They're not in love with the idea of... Perfect! That went perfectly. There should be a red button nearby. It will just let the recovery crews know that the tiger's ready for pickup.
That's just... Oh.
It's the button... I think it's by the doors to the weather room. Okay, press it again.
Interesting.
Oh, thank goodness. The recovery crew are on the move. I worried they might have joined the picket or gone to the union or been eaten by a tiger, Okay, I'm trying to work out where you're going to be most useful. I don't think we have anybody left in catwalks, do we? Oh, we do? Oh, great. Wow. Can't believe it. I guess weather control then. The door's just over there. You're doing your... Oh, I hate this room. This hasn't been easy, During our second performance, a pipe burst in here and flooded the whole garden level.
Jesus.
The player got stuck on the roof of the summer house. Alright, okay, the script calls for a storm. Let's make it rain. It's the red valve on the pipe next to the door. Gently. A lot of the story... No, too much. Okay, we're good. There's a button below the fan that sorts out the thunder and lightning.
Okay.
Could you do the lightning?
Yes.
It's a really nice... Oh! It might be wired up wrong. I'm sorry. That room gets quite damp. Now I think about it, it might have been taken... Oh no! There it is! There it goes! You've got to picture the building lit up by these big flashes of lightning. It's really imposing. The set's massive. Oh! Speaking of, the player has apparently entered the mansion through the orangery and is... They're going to use the lift. Okay, that's okay. We can do this. They're right here. This way. Actually, wait, hang on a second. This is really important. Behind this door is the closest the player ever passes backstage. They'll be right behind a wall, and I don't know what the wall's made of, but I do know that it's phenomenally cheap. So you're gonna have to be very quiet, okay? Just down the steps. Yeah, that's good. That's the mansion in there. Really clever players sometimes drop the chandelier on a guard. But I think, yeah, this one found the patrol plan and changed it up. So all the guards are walking around the lake, which is a pretty maverick move, to be honest. Here's what we need to do. The player's going to come down the corridor and call the lift.
I am also
Once
loving
the
this.
doors
This
open
game
and
is
they get
fucking
inside,
amazing.
They're going to press the down button. When that happens, all you have to do is pull the lever on this side. This lift was always supposed to power itself, obviously. This is just a hangover from rehearsals that nobody got round to replacing.
Besides, it's fine. We've got plenty of time.
So-
And actually, no, wait, here he comes.
I wasn't really listening.
Eyes front. Wait for it. Ready?
Do I?
What are they doing? Why haven't they pressed the button? Did they hear us? Don't move.
Oh.
Now.
So now I press the lever.
Pull the lever.
I am. I'm pulling. Thank God.
Oh, thank God, they're moving. Oh, no idea what happened there. I think they can't have heard us. I hope they didn't hear us. They probably didn't hear us. At least they're on their way now. Actually, they're going to be very busy with the vault. You could start playing in the grounds. We just need to prep some pyrotechnics for the escape sequence, and then you're good to go. There's a lift to the pyro workshop up the stairs.
Oh, wrong door. It's up leading up the stairs.
We could just
these
hurry
stairs.
along. You're not into lifts. That's okay, I can understand that. But we really should keep moving. It's not an unpleasant lift. Really. It's a good lift.
Okay, hang on. Okay. I don't know what those codes are, but I'd rather copy them down.
Oh my God. Are you okay? Do you still have your ankles? Are they in the correct orientation? Okay, you're okay? You do? That's great. Oh God, I'm so sorry about that. This is the weather room, isn't it? Right. Okay, listen. Since we can't reach the lift to Pyro, the only way back into the game is through a department called High Concept Miscellaneous Interactions. Oh, I didn't want to have to do this to you. There's usually a lot of training involved. But I'll talk you through it. You'll be fine. We'll be fine. You
We got this. This is fine.
brace yourself.
It's no big deal.
Welcome to Miscellaneous Interactions. This is the department that controls a lot of things. Locked and unlocked doors, interior lights, smoke machines, telephone calls, actor cues, laser lights, vault guards, tranquilizer dart strength, that kind of thing. But it's all just done with numbers. I don't know why. And usually the operator's got this big, usually they know what they're doing. But I've got a manual here. I think we'll get through it. All right, in order to get started, you're going to want to press the number 4.
Well,
Just go right
Alright.
ahead, the number 4. Don't worry about that. Don't worry, that's fine. I think that's normal. Yeah. I don't think that light's a bad sign. 5, 7, 2, 1, 2, 1. 3.
okay, hang on. Okay, okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, so 5.
Okay, so what we did there, it turns out, was the wrong thing. Could you press 9 and then 4 and then 1? I think we restarted it. It's alright, there's a page in the manual about this. What did you just... That's
trying
been very important!
Am I picking it up?
Why did you...
I did push the numbers he told me.
It's alright. Okay, I found the right instructions. Alright, I need you to press the number 9. Alright. Let's just assume that we've got 9 sorted. Right? Okay. 5, 2, 1, 4, 4. Wait, no! Hit start to cancel that. And then a 2. 6. Just ignore that. That's fine. Right. 7, 2, left. 1, 4, 2. Oh Christ! Please pick up the phone, please, and talk to them this time.
Is it this way?
How is this? Oh, come on! Again? Do you just not know how to use the phone? Alright, back to the board.
I guess
Pick these
not.
4 numbers. 2, 5, 9. Oh, I guess we don't need to bother with 9. Oh. That sound that I might have told you to ignore, it turns out that That's a very bad alarm. So I'm going to need you to just do a 180, right down the stairs, please. Right down. I'd probably go a bit further. Move. You really want to move right
Can
now.
I
Here's
sprint?
good.
I can
Here's
zoom.
good. Great.
Is there?
Oh.
I can't.
Do that. Okay, back. Come on, back up the stairs.
Alright.
A bit faster than that, please. Just a bit, just a bit faster. Come on. All right, don't worry. Actually, do worry a bit. Hit 7, 4, then asterisk. Is there a fire below us right now? Is there something on fire?
Oh,
Ooh,
fuck.
there is, isn't there? I don't think any of this room is supposed to be on fire. Please don't do what I think you're about to do. Please don't do it. Just pick up the phone and put it to your ear. No!
Oh.
You did what I think you shouldn't do. Why did you do anyway? Why? Wait, hang on. We can still fix this. We can. I need you to find a blue panel marked downpour.
Okay.
It's turned off, right? I
Yeah.
found a way to activate a fail-safe lever to the left of the... Oh no, wait. On the right of the keypad. Right, not left. Don't do the left. Okay, when the downpour panel lights up, I'm going to need you to pull it. When it lights up, not before. Any moment now.
Well, shit. Okay.
Now?
We did it.
Did we do it? I think we did
did.
it. The players left the mansion. I think we did it. I don't think it's supposed to still be raining, but hey, come back down the stairs. You're done here. You don't need to spend any more time in this room. You can forget about the whole thing.
That was amazing.
This is it. You're done, sister.
With like the music and
Thank
everything.
you so much.
Really well done.
Thank you so much. You really helped out. We couldn't have made it through without you. We really couldn't have. Through here. Here we are again. So this is how it's going to work. You go in there. Just give me a moment. I will bring the lights up. And Dr. Langskoff, the tiger, and the terribly cursed emerald. Enjoy it.
So now we get to play the game? Now it's us?
Oh, don't tell me you're getting cold feet now.
Oh, Lord, no.
Thank you so much.
Oh, guys, I'm so excited. Alright, I just unlocked an achievement called Begin the Heist.
What? Another player? You've got to be kidding me. I can't do this again. Okay, this is really awkward. The fact of the matter is... Wait, hang on. Where are you going? Right,
Oh, no.
so, look, I need to talk you... Okay, that's the lighting room. You need to put... Okay, fine. This is wildlife prep. No, hang on. Hang on. There's a tiger in there. There's a tiger in there. That's... no, don't pull that. Wait, no. Oh.
Oh, I completely forgot. I don't know how well you guys can hear me over this. I completely forgot to mention that Justin Roiland, the creator of Rick and Morty, was actually a part of this. He was a part of the voice acting in it, which I think is really cool. That was really great. That was less than I thought that it would be. But I think that it was very charming and I loved it. If this ends up being a little shorter, because I have one more game lined up, if it ends up being a little bit shorter, we can head back over to Stanley Parable and we can try out a couple more endings. So let's see. So, No, it was great. I loved it. So I do just really fast. This is a browser game. I haven't had to set up a browser game on my stream yet for you guys. But really great. Or really fast. Sorry, I was reading one of the comments in chat. So this is the Temple of No. So this game was published about 6 months after Dr. Langeskov. It was also developed by Crows, so William Pugh's side project, or William Pugh's, I guess it's his main project, but it was developed using Twine software, and that's a tool for making interactive fiction in the form of web pages. So it's kind of like almost like a slideshow, but hopefully a lot better than a slideshow. It has a 4.6 out of 5 based on over 300 ratings on their site. This game is also free. You just have to go to their website, which is in the link down below, so that if you guys ever want to play it. It's a browser game, so it doesn't really require a lot for your computer or anything like that. So let me see about getting it pulled up for you guys. Let's see. Okay. Let me see if okay, hang on. I don't think I'm doing this right. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, so you guys can at least see, this is close enough. So you guys, okay. And then let me just, there we go. Okay, so this is my computer. So let me see. So the Breakfast Club thing is kind of hard to see, but I think it's okay. Let me see about, if I can just kind of make this a little bit better. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So, it's a pretty simple concept. You click on underline words to play. So, if I click on this game is made in Twine, yeah, well, nobody's perfect. You click on underline words to play. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to do that. I thought it was going to let me read the rest. Oh, yeah, I also wanted to let you guys know, I do really like these games, but especially with William Pugh's projects, they are free. You do have the option you can buy them a coffee or you can donate to them on their website. I did just kind of want to put that out there because they are free games, and so, to be able to help small developers who are releasing free games like that, it's kind of one of those things where they kind of live off of their donations and stuff, so, but yeah. Hello, this story may frighten or disturb you, but if you have a strong stomach, a smart brain box, and a cool face, then perhaps you're brave enough to hear it. This story, oh. What? Don't interrupt me while I'm explaining what's about to go down. Let's see. Are we brave like a storm, a bear, or a sailor? I'm gonna say that we're brave like a storm. Enough of that. This isn't about you. Anyway, are you ready? Yes. Good. This is a story. It properly happened, that took place a long time ago, just last week actually. It's a good one. Anyway, let's get this old dusty tome and hear of this fantastic tale. It's called The Temple of No. Like The Brave Explorer, The Jungle of Doubt, and The Temple of No, presented by Crows. Let's begin. Okay, so this is a magical book. Its magic power is to be incredibly relatable. Are you a woman, a bloke, or a frog? Let's be a frog. Okay, I'm going to level with you. You're playing the real game here. I've had to write a whole load of bullshit about subverting the expectations of Twine games for the man and woman options, and to be honest, I don't think those jokes are brilliant. The frog story is actually genuinely what this whole game is about. In fact, I'm going to now stop putting any actual effort into writing the other branches of dialogue, and I'm going to focus entirely on this one. Well done for picking the interesting option. I hope you like it. Let's go. Old Slimeface lived in Slimy Bottom, a small fishing village down in the heart of Yorkshire. It paddled a small boat around and ferried smaller animals to and fro from each side of the pond. And on Sundays, it paddled down to the animal market and buy 12 fly cakes, one for each of its tadpole children. But this Sunday was different. There was a strange taste in the air as it paddled down the stream. It knew in its cold-blooded, froggy heart that it missed the days of wild adventure. In its youth, it had traveled the world and explored new, non-froggy areas. Many of its discoveries had shaped the development of frog culture and frog history, but after enjoying the quiet life, Froggo knew it was time to step forward into the world of adventure once more. Now here's a crash course on Frog's old adventure history. Slimeface lost an eye in a massive fucking fight with a baboon. It killed a baboon, and it is one badass frog. Don't fuck with the frog. It once traveled to Antarctica and stole 22 penguin eggs. It is a master of stealth, and it could sneak up on you and break your neck easily. Really easily. Frog Legs over here jumped over an entire fence, like a human-sized fence, to escape a frog prison compound set up by the UK government after Frog uncovered their evil plot to attempt to rig the frog elections. It then went back and saved all of the other frogs, and you should be thanking its froggy eyes. Okay, you're ready. Let's go straight into the story. Fucking jungle transition and audio. You noticing this? Depression Quest didn't have this? Right. Right, let's go. Right into the story. Slimeface entered the jungle of doubt on its journey to find the map that sees all things that have ever been or will be, but a map. The map was legendary. The old tales spoke about it. You know the old tales? Yeah. Anyway. So Slimeface knew it proper, wanted the map to tell it the secrets of the universe. If it brought the map back to civilization, it would truly achieve greatness. It knew in its cold-blooded, slimy frog heart. The temple that held the map was close. Slimeface looked up, down, all around, up at the mossy green leaves of the giant jungle trees that reached high above it. They spread out, and sometimes you could barely see the sun. It was in the heart of the jungle, and it knew its prize was near. Down, at the ground. It didn't know why it was looking down, but it could see some dirt, a bit of a gum wrapper some tourist or jungle resident had left on the floor, and a broken light bulb. You peer inquisitively at the disgusting broken light bulb. Hey, my name's Mrs. Watts. I'm dying, I tell ya. That's what's up, yo. Did you bring the stuff? Oh, Jimmy Flippers, this broken bulb is babbling some bullshit. You blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. What stuff? What do you mean, what stuff? These stuff. A cell, wires, what else would I mean? Can you be quick enough? Because I'm dying, alright? You'll need to go back to the start of the game. Refresh a page. We don't have time for you to play all the way through. Shuffle backwards, awkwardly. Slimeface stumbles backwards, awkward, away from the talking light bulb. As Slimeface cut through the leaves and brush and floor of jungle debris, it thought about some shit, sang a little song, considered the possibility that life was futile. Well, I know what I would think. Slimeface thought about futility for a while. Then it remembered that it wasn't any fun to think about, and so it thought about itself doing a little dance. Yeah, do. Frog dance. Finally, Slimeface stopped imagining things. What a weirdo. Slimeface wasn't there yet. It still had much more jungle to cut through, so it sang a little song. Oh wow, you the player must sing along to the background music with these lyrics. If you don't, you will know that you have let yourself down, and if you don't really fucking enjoy this game, it'll be even fucking harder. Guys, I don't want to sing this. I am cutting the the time while I travel along the path to the Temple of No. This is where I am going to go. I am cutting the leaves, I am pushing past the trees, I am slashing away at these brush floor and gentle debris. I am going on an adventure today. I don't want to sing it! It's so awful! I'm going on an adventure today. This game is really, really fun to play. Time games can be fun. I will shout, check out me singing in the jungle of doubt. I'm cutting the leaves, I'm pushing past the trees. I'm slashing away at these brush, floor, and jungle debris. Fuck. Okay. Soon I'll be at the Temple of No. It's got lots of treasure, and I'm going to go take some back to my hometown. Keep it for myself and not share any around. I'm cutting the trees, I'm cutting the leaves, I'm pushing past the trees, I am slashing away at these brush, floor, and jungle debris. If you didn't sing the song, then you know you've let yourself down. You need to let yourself have fun in life. Don't try and be so serious. If you didn't sing the song, please scroll back up and try again. If you did sing the song, well done, you are cool now. If I ever fucking have to go through anything like that again, I'm killing Small Dead Sundays. I'll say it now. Fucking hell, Slimeface thought. Still a ways to go. It thought about some shit. Slimeface thought about how its feet were hurting it a bit. It wished it brought some GOX shoes, the shoes that breathe, TM. It continued to think. Slimeface Slimeface thought about how its nose was itchy. If it bought GOX shoes, the shoes that breathe, TM, it would likely have had much more comfortable feet that it had such comfortable feet that it wouldn't be bothered by such a meager nose itch. It continued to think. GOX, shoes that breathe. It did it all. Thought about some shit, sang a little song, considered the possibility that life was futile. Yes, light. Slimeface emerged from the jungle and saw the Temple of No. Slimeface marveled at its magnificence, probably built by the Aztecs. Dude, like that is big. Anyway, we're not going to get anywhere just sitting around here giving an expedition. Let's climb some stairs. Up the stairs we go. And then the temple. Right, so it's temple time, eh? Remember the explorer's oath. Look, do not touch. Slimeface carefully walked down the dusty and or spooky corridor of the temple, being extra careful not to touch anything. Whoop. It arrived in a large hall with 3 doors. 3 doors. 3. That is 1 plus 2. Quick maths. 3 doors. Right, it's election time, everybody. Left, middle, or anti-left? Which door do you guys want to pick? My palm is all sweaty from that singing. That was really embarrassing. I do not sing. I'm probably gonna go ahead and pick. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll pick the middle. So, fair enough. Good sign. So Slimeface entered the big old room. Okay, wow, more stairs in here. Let's climb them. Climbing up, up, up. Yes. Remember back at the start of this Twine game when you picked Sailor, Storm, blah blah? Yeah, those were good times. I think it was a bear was the third one. Wait, no! A boulder! Run away, Froggy, run! There's danger, real present danger. Are you excited? Scream if you want to progress to the next section of the game. Ah! Okay, so not that room. Guess Slimeface will turn on the other doors? Left or anti-left? I think we're gonna go with anti-left. Hey, thank you, Savvy. Oh, that's too sweet. Stop. You're beautiful. Oh, dude, in this room, there's a bunch of snakes having a pool party. Remember that game, Snake? Remember how it had actual gameplay? Can't make Snake and Twine, can you? Haha, no. But let's talk to the snakes. Hey, snakes. Yeah, they seem to be having a cool time. No treasure in here, though, unless you count a bunch of... Sorry, guys. Yeah, they seem to be having a cool time. No treasure in here, though, unless you count a bunch of snakes as treasure, which I personally don't. I do. Yep. So, that was the spooky snake room. Sorry if you got scared. Back in here, I guess? Alright, one last door to try. Boy, oh boy, Slimeface is bad at this door choosing thing, am I right? Here you go, Max. Here's left. Oh, wow, it's the Spike room. Remember Spike Milligan? Nope. Good. Webster's dictionary defines spike as 1. A very large nail. 2. One of a row of pointed irons placed as on the top of a wall to prevent passage. B. One of several metal projections set in the sole and heel of a shoe to improve. No, wait, that doesn't apply here. Okay, so I don't think there's anything in this room. I guess we should turn back around? So, no doors lead to the right path. Can no doors truly bring us what we want in life? Perhaps that is the meaning of this tale, that you can go through a jungle, sing a song, climb down some boring stairs, check a bunch of rooms, and still you'll never find what you were looking for. Wow, makes you think, eh? Makes you think. The end. Oh wait, no! There was another door over to the right. Let's do it! Slimeface entered the door and found the Great Leader's chamber. Thank you. On the seat was...
Frog, right, so, hello? Nice to meet you. Hello? Sorry, one sec, let me just...
Slimeface listened.
Right, okay, so, yeah, nice, hello. Right, hello, my name's fucking Keith, right?
Dude, he's so cute.
And I am...
This is fucking amazing. I won't lie, I didn't think this was gonna be as good as it
behind the
has
throne,
been so
I'm
far.
the bloody Aztec god, I suppose. Funny story, you look like you kind of come from civilized society, I think. But, yeah, so I, funnily enough, used to be a shoe salesman, you know, I sold, shoes, I sized people's shoes down,
Alright,
you know,
we're gonna proceed to do whatever.
Market, you know, for, sorting people's feet out, you know,
alright,
measuring
let's
them,
just ask for the map.
size you... Well,
Oh, yikes.
what? No. Okay, Sorry, I am really sorry, but that you can't have the map.
He's so
okay?
polite about it.
Sorry, there's been a bit of a miscommunication here. The map, old artifact of the temple. Okay,
So,
predates
we
me.
decided
Predates a whole load of people. You know.
No!
Only I'm allowed to look at the map. You know. So clearly you've bloody well heard of it.
Guys.
You know that it's here, and then I've got it. But I don't think you quite understand what the map is. If you don't mind me saying that. I
me
mean,
too, Renee.
The map shows everything
I don't wanna-
that has ever been or ever shall be, but in map form. And I tell you, you can't have it. Okay, one.
That was really sad. From what I know of Savvy, Twine is a free program. Yeah, Twine is a free program. You guys could actually make your own. You just have to look up, it's like Twine software or something. But little did it know, in killing the Great Leader, it would become the Great Leader and violate the Explorer's Oath. No! How could Slimeface have forgot the Explorer's Oath? It was tres importante. French. Now, as its new Great Leader, Loyalists approached it, ready to worship it as their new god. Frog had to decide right there, right now, if it would break vows and totally just be a cool ruler in the jungle, or grab the map and escape back to Civilization 5. Okay. Do you guys want to rule the... Do you guys want to rule the jungle, or do you want to escape back to Civ 5? Wow, yikes. This is a Christian server? I'm gonna have to ask you not to speak that way on my Christian channel. We'll escape. And that's what it did. That's what Slimeface did. Or should I say, that's what I did. Aww. That's right, fools. I'm old Slimeface, and that shit happened to me. I don't know what lessons I learned, or if I learned any lessons at all, but I got the map. I got it. And it's given me many pieces of insight, and because you've heard my tale and listened to my words of wisdom, I will tell you one piece right now. The wisdom is, have you ever played a good game made in Twine? Like one that's actually good, not just good for a Twine game. That's it. It's the end. Thanks for playing. And then it looks like there's some really cool, what's it called here? Some, the things, you know, the credits. Yeah, but yeah, you can download the game, you can download, it even says right here, you can download Twine source code on GitHub. Additionally, like, you can play this game for yourself on Crows, their website down below. And yeah, I mean, that's really it. That was really fun. It'd be interesting to see the, well, let me make sure I word this correctly. As interesting as this game is, and as much as I loved playing it for you, I would rather drink bleach than ever sing a song on stream again. Simple as that. I'm sorry. That was awful, and I hated singing it so much. We do have a little bit of time left, so I will see about, we can run on over to, oh yeah, so every time I sing I get $10 more, is that the trick? I will sing all day. I will sing that god-awful song all day. I will perfect it, get like the pitch right, figure out how to actually sing, if you tip me $10 every time I sing it. But also not really, because that was painful. It was horrible. So let me see about pulling Stanley back up for you guys really fast. Let's see. So, let me get rid of that. Oh my god, I can't believe I just sang that. The worst part is, this is the first stream that I'm going to be throwing up on my YouTube as well. I'm glad that it could be one where I sing really awfully. So I just got an achievement called Welcome Back since I came back. So we're gonna play a little bit more of this, but give me just a minute. I'll be right back, guys. Whoops. Alright, here I am. Welcome back. I don't think that it would be that hard to code. I personally haven't taken a look. I have a decent amount of experience with coding stuff. I haven't taken a look at the Twine code, but later on I can take a look at it and I can get back with you on that. I'm sure that it's super simple. It's literally just putting some words on paper. I'm sure it gets a little bit more complicated once it comes into adding, this stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty simple. Yeah, it looks like HTML, maybe a little bit of CSS for like photos or stuff like that, but I think it should be pretty simple. Yeah. Let me see about pulling up that, what's it called from earlier? The flowchart. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. Okay, guys. Yeah, in all honesty, I did not do a lot of research into, like, I I try to do enough research that I can present you guys
This is the
with
story
the game.
of a man named
We're gonna
Stanley.
skip this. I try to do like enough research where I can present you guys with the game and essentially what it is, but not so much as to where I go into the game and I can't have a genuine reaction with you guys.
All of his co-workers
So,
were gone. What could it mean?
Unfortunately,
Stanley
it kind
decided to
of
go
bit
to
me
the
in ass
meeting
this
room.
time, but I had to
Perhaps
say
he
that
had
was
simply
so
missed a
bad.
memo. When Stanley came to
So
a
we're
set
gonna
of
go
two
left.
open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whoops. That was weird.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
So apparently this is everybody's favorite ending. I've never played this ending. Apparently
There was nothing here.
Yeah, I was gonna
No
say the
choice to
narrator
make, no
will get
path to follow,
progressively
just
more
an empty
frustrated
broom
by
closet.
this, so
No reason to still be here.
we're just gonna kind of wait for him to get really mad. Apparently it'll kind of like
It was
reset you.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
It's a nice broom.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
That's
But
pretty
it didn't even
fair.
occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
But now it is significant because we're in it. And you guys are all very significant.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this
I was hoping he
concerning.
would say XD, but I guess a girl can only dream.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Wow.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah, for sure. No, I know that it's an ending, but you can still continue
Well,
on
I've
with the
come to a
story
very
after.
definite
So I wanted to
conclusion
make
about
sure you
what's
guys
going
can
on
always
right
enjoy
now.
it.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby?
Oh, that's good to know.
The
We'll
person
stop
at
by in
this
the broom
computer
closet on the
is
next room
dead.
too then.
He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
All right. Hey, it goes really good. It actually,
Second player, it's good to have you on the
Oh,
board.
God.
I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Oh my god. So I guess for anybody who doesn't know, the first like few times that I streamed. I just streamed Minecraft, and I was like super shy and awkward about it. But yeah, that's what I thought. I could kind of tell by the way he wrapped it up there. But then I started playing BioShock, and I got really into it, and I've had a lot of fun with you guys. And then I think maybe last Sunday, I started talking about Small Dev Sundays, which is now every Sunday I feature a different developer, and I stream some of their games. So we played Dr. Langaskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald. And then we played The Temple of No, which are both William Pugh games. And then this is a game that William Pugh and Davey Wreden worked on together. Or Wreden. Davey Wreden. Okay, so my plan is to actually...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we are... There's a couple of endings that we can get up here, but this is the one that we're gonna do.
Stepping in...
So, we're kind of on our own now. I'm pretty sure there's a storyline where you get into the executive bathroom. So... I knew that was gonna happen, but now I'm not really sure where to go. Maybe, what if we go this way? Nope. Okay. We'll just walk all the way back to the beginning. Oh. Yeah, I think they're, I think that those are the surprises that are left by, William in the game when Davey was like, I got rid of all of them, and William was like, but did you? I think that that's one of them. So, this door shut. Okay. Let's try going back. Let's try, maybe we can retrigger. Okay, fuck. Let's just, maybe we'll go this way. Well, okay. So, we're gonna walk all the way back to Stanley's office. I think that I know how to do this now. I have some notes with me to kind of help me out, so. Let's see here. It's a long walk. There's a lot we could do on this walk. Maybe we'll think about some shit. Or sing a song. Okay, here we go. Alright, so let's get up to floor 760. What do you think this office is for? What kind of company do you think they run? 756. so dark. Okay. 7:58. Ah, here we go. Perfect. The escape pod launch bay. Oh, it's so dark. Just keep moving. I have no idea. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Think smarter, not harder. So that is the escape pod ending. Okay, so we'll see about stepping back in the broom closet this time. I do have another alternate ending that I wanted to...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Is that it? Will he talk more? Let's see. Anything good here? Forget you can't jump. Wow, that's a nice piece of dirty cardboard. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
All right. So here we are, once again.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I have another one for you guys after this that I think you will really like.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're gonna go this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Well,
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
goodbye. Oh,
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
oh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Deep. So, I love this museum. I feel like it's a really creative way to give out the credits. So it's like, these are some of the paintings that are in the office. And then this is our computer. And then there's things like, this is a whole layout of the office. So this is where it starts with the 2 doors. And then this is the corridor. I actually think we started around that end, but that's okay. That's really interesting. Just kind of the way that they had to set everything up is very interesting. How neat. And then that's where we live. Right here. I couldn't imagine, like, it feels so meta to have this office in, technically we're still in like the original office, so it's just like a tiny office layout in the like huge office layout that we call the game. Like they even put a spilled coffee and everything. Keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Yeah, see, like, there's a solitaire computer. Filing cabinets. And yeah, and then here are the credits. Pretty neat stuff. And then, oh yeah, I forgot this office is pretty, or this museum is pretty large. An early version of the maintenance room. more office stuff. The copy machine. Oh look, so I actually had never realized this, but they talk about the Steam Greenlight program, like I had mentioned earlier on in this. It was really cool because when they advertised the game, not only did they have that blog that I spoke about, but they also, these were the advertisements that they used to advertise this game. They essentially didn't let anybody know what this game was going to be. They kind of just threw it out there. It got a lot of really good feedback though. Like people, it was very obvious that people wanted this game, and so I think that's really neat. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a cool way for them to kind of display like their thought process throughout all of this. There's a clock in here. Ah. There is an ending where we don't have to pick up the phone when we're in that room. I was actually kind of thinking about running through that one for you guys. We'll be spending a little bit more time in that warehouse room for sure. So. Man, this museum is really, really large. Oh, the countdown desk. Alright. Well.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Don't worry, I won't forget. So, we'll probably do one or two more, and then I'd like to wrap up. I do kind of have some words that I want to say at the end of this, so I'll probably see about speaking my piece before I go. You gonna load there, game? Let me see here. It's not... Oh. That's interesting. There we go. I guess it just needed me to reset it. Yeah, so this will probably be the last one, and then I'm gonna go ahead and...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, okay, so I gotta go stop by the broom closet, but we actually need to come back this way. I don't know if it'll let me. If not, it's fine. Because, well, actually, okay, there's one other ending over here.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
That's so ridiculous.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone?
Do you
This
guys
was
remember
too
when it
much
was?
for Stanley to take.
8.
Too much for any man to take. He fell to his... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments
Oh, no.
with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
All right. So there's one more.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
There we
Each
are.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place
Like that one
where
has a
freedom meant nothing.
Man. What's the Easter egg in this room? Okay. Wait, so before... Oh, but it's closed off. Is it this button? That button? Any button? See, because it
This
shuts the
mind
doors on you.
control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Okay.
Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Oh.
Had he truly
I
spent
went
his
up the
entire
elevator.
life utterly blind to the world?
Well, I'll go back. I'll go back and I'll run it really fast.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls
back, don't worry.
labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Oh, I think I'm
A moment of
sneeze.
solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
Okay.
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Really? Wow.
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know
That's actually a
what?
lot
To hell
faster
with
than I
it.
expected.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling
Oh my god, I
desperately
love
to
how
your
all
fair
of the
life?
screens say
Or will you let
goodbye.
it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
For the record, there's no way to prevent that from happening. For some reason, there's like a rumor that goes around that like if you press them in a certain order, it'll work. It doesn't. So we're gonna do Max's Easter egg really fast.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Excuse me, and
What could
then
it
I'll
mean?
go ahead and wrap it up. For you.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There's not, and I almost wonder like, what if somebody's just never figured it out? Like, what if
Yet
it's just
there was
super
not a
random?
single person here
But
either.
the game's been around since
Feeling a wave of
2013,
disbelief,
and still nobody's
Stanley
found it
decided
out,
to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay,
So we're
I think
gonna
we all
wait
know the
because I don't
drill
want to
by
listen
now.
to that
Blah,
new
blah,
age.
blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley
music,
pushes some
calming
buttons.
music.
Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Oh, hey, thank you. Easy peasy. Alright. I'm honestly really surprised that there wouldn't be a way to win it. You would think that they would add that in. I feel like it would be such a simple thing.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, so this is the button that I have to come back and click.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
So even though it's shut, it will open
Now
after
the
I call the
monitors
elevator.
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay. So now I call the elevator, but I don't get in the elevator. I just wait.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Okay,
Was this
we
the
can
only
wait a
reason
minute.
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
We'll wait. Oh. Well, all right. Can we? Oh, that's right. We press this button. Goodbye. Oh shit.
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
All right, guys.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Turn this off. As
Here
in, let
was
me
the
turn
proof,
off the mic.
the heart of the operation.
And
Controls
then we'll call
labeled
it.
with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright, guys. Thank you so much for
Blackness
watching.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from
I love
someone
this
else's
ending.
command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
So, thank you guys so much for watching today. This is something that I'm planning on doing every Sunday with a different developer. I'm really, really pleasantly surprised with how well this one went over. I feel like I had a decent amount of people talking in chat and everything, and I also just had a decent amount of people watching, which is something that obviously I'm trying to work towards getting more of and stuff like that. So I really, really appreciate all of you guys being here and just kind of seeing these games and, I don't know, having fun. It's kind of iffy if I'll be here streaming next Sunday, just because I'll be at a video game convention. I will try to at least stop in. I thought about maybe streaming on Saturday or something along those lines to try to kind of balance it out for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed this and I had a lot of fun with you guys, even if I had to sing that god-awful song. Additionally, just some regular stuff. I stream every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So if you guys would like to come back and watch, I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't already, I would love it if you guys followed me. I am trying to get to 50 followers, so if you aren't already a part of the Breakfast Club, I would love if you joined us. And yeah, that's really it. I don't know. Thank you guys. I had a really great stream with you all today, so yeah, have a good rest of your weekend.